HighQVideo. My name is Tim Colson, and come on, there we go. We all know that meeting face-to-face like this is really the best way to reach out and touch customers, or for customers to find you if you're some sort of service professional. But in the world of the internet is, 24 by 7 by 365 and global. So it's really hard to scale up and actually meet everyone face-to-face. So the next thought is, well, what do you do about video? And of course with video, you think YouTube. The problem with YouTube though is we've all seen it, right? It's generally low quality, the audio is horrible, it doesn't really scale up real well. And so it begs the question, if you're a business, where do you go for high quality video if you want to actually present yourself in that first critical impression about who you are, what you do? Well, of course you go to a video production studio, right? Well, they're going to be high quality, absolutely. But they're also going to be really a lot of time and a lot of money. And I thought about this and I said, well, that's maybe the reason why people aren't doing it. I mean, it's amazing that at this day and age, the kind of video we have in our pockets on our phones, and how few people are actually using it for their businesses yet. So I thought about this, and I came up with this idea of HighQVideo. So what it is a small business, 2 to 3 people, a receptionist, an editor, a director, $199 for a sitting fee and $99 a year to host your video on a place that's not YouTube, so you don't have the risks inherent with having YouTube and all the Chrome and the other videos that are related that might not be related. And add-on services, which is a really cool thing that some of the mentors came up with ideas of other things you could do on top of this to actually make some real money. And the idea is quality video in less than 2 hours. So this is the lean canvas, and the only reason I put this up here, and I hate slides like this with tons of words, is just to do a shout out that this experience was really great to actually go out and list out the customer segments and the channels and how to actually do this. And in the customers, you see at the top of that list over there, I had realtors. That was it. That was the main focus I was going to look at. And they came with this huge list of all these other people, just from the mentors and other people in validation. I went around last Sunday to open houses to just check out what it was like, and got a lot of good feedback and interest from realtors saying, yeah, a third of them said, yeah, I'd buy that, I'd do that. And I got all other people at Gangplank saying, yeah, I'd do that if it was really inexpensive. Startup costs, just idea of this, is probably 40 to 60K total. There's equipment, set up your location, some advertising and training. And along with this, I thought of the idea of a franchise, because you could spread out the cost to a bunch of different franchises. Small business like this, where you could get brand awareness across a whole big geographic. And so you could just say, yeah, because this is a brick and mortar thing. Even though it's internet, you have to go to a brick and mortar place to actually do this video. Operating costs, I'm figuring along with that with location, people, and hosting, about 180 grand a year. Well, revenue, okay. If you did 2 sessions a day, so people weren't really doing much, 2 sessions being like an hour or 2, you're talking about a baseline with that $300 kind of average is really just base services of 150 grand. So you haven't quite hit 180 yet, but pretty close. And if you do 3 sessions per day and maybe add in a few add-ons like some extra video footage you add in there, you're looking at 275. And if 1,000 sessions a year with about a 350 average, you're looking at 350K. Now again, go back, 180K a year here, and this director owner that I have slated in at 55 grand, all that extra is the owners. So it comes out to about 35% profit, which seems pretty good. One more, go there. So in summary, what I've learned over this weekend is that it's actually possible, I think, to create a small business to do high quality video in a couple of hours. And to prove it to myself, I did build something, I made something. And this part, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see or hear because, well, I know we can't hear because we don't have audio here, but I can take a mic back and you would have good quality audio back there. I can maybe mime it. In fact, actually, if I could borrow that other mic real fast, I have another one that is high quality video that I did in a studio that I built in Gangplank very quickly. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and I will go to, yeah. It's high quality video, but you can't adjust the video projector. So there's that. So, questions?
So after you have a customer, how do you keep charging them after the first year?
Well, there's a subscription, so if they host that $99 a year, presumably they're going to like that service because it's going to get good reports. They don't have all the other Chrome of YouTube and that kind of thing, and so they just keep doing that. So you build up the subscription there.
Plus, their business is changing.
True. And so the other thing is that for $200, the idea of saying, if they come in, have a good experience in 2 hours or less, they get a nice video they can stick on their site, and they say, you know what, I want to do that again because I've got a new service or a new thing, and I'll come back and do another session.
Just to clarify, this is a franchise model?
That's what I was thinking about, a franchise, because you can, of course, share cost of like the hosting. You can have brand awareness across the entire thing. Oh, there we go. So you can have, shared everything with a franchise model. You can take off 3 to 5% off of that, have a decent corporate thing for training, because part of this is that you have to keep the cost low for producing it. So you've got to have resources that are not paid videographer costs. You've got to have costs that are, someone you can come in, 3 days of training and understand how to come in a controlled environment and shoot a good video. So you walk out with a good product, but aren't paying, the $1,000+ you would have to if you went to a traditional video production facility.
From a competitive perspective, did you see any other providers that do something similar at this price point? How about existing video facilities?
Not a one. The video facilities I've seen, I've looked, and that's one thing where I need a little more validation, because over the weekend it's hard to call a video facility to ask them because they're not around. But the services I have seen, the estimates, are definitely in the $500 up range. And every person I talked to about this idea that had done any video production, they would laugh at me and they say, you can't do that. You can't possibly put together a video for $200. And I said, well, I went out and bought a camera and put together a makeshift with duct tape thing, and I got a pretty good quality, literally in 2 hours this morning, from start to finish, let alone getting experienced videographers and a setup to actually do it for real in a studio.
What's the barriers to entry?
The barrier to entry is unfortunately low. The biggest barrier to entry is the brick and mortar aspect, which is not sexy. It's not what most people think they want to do. So they're just like, I'm not interested in that. And the fact that in order to actually make this really viable, like even in Tucson, even if you started here, you're not going to want to drive if you live in the foothills to the east side or to the west side. So Tucson probably could support maybe 4 franchises here. And I think from the numbers, those sessions it could, because even the realtors alone, there are 6,000 in Tucson. And of those, when I interviewed them right up, there were a third of them that said, yeah, I want that. And there were another third that said, if I saw what it was, I might be interested in that. So, there's enough, I think, to support this in even multiple locations in Tucson. And then, you could quickly go branch out. Thank you.